All right, we are officially streaming and live on our monthly community conversations. And Seth, you are in charge and take it away.
Begging your pardon. Greetings, my name is Seth, and I'm the Operations Officer for Project Human, affectionately referred to as PHInc. I'll be moderating the meeting tonight. This is our second 2025 monthly communication or monthly community conversation. These are ongoing monthly online events where members of PHInc and our widespread community discuss key themes important to our organization and mission. Each conversation includes a brief introduction of PHInc, information and resources related to that month's theme, and a testimony from the community. PHInc founder and our hostesses are Adela Hittel and Alicia Alvarez, who will open the conversation about the importance of community. And then we'll follow that with a testimony from one of our volunteers, Jen Lathan. We will leave the last 10 minutes for the community question and answer. Take a moment now and add a question to the chat, or feel free to do so anytime during the event, and I will read them at the end. But before I do that, let me go ahead and read the disclaimer, which I probably should have done first. We are not medical professionals. If you are in crisis, reach out to your local mental health resources or dial 911 for immediate assistance. For national suicide prevention, dial 988. We are recording and live streaming on our YouTube channel, so please take a moment to turn off your cameras if you do not wish to be on video. We'll be using our conversations to promote and raise awareness about our organization and our mission. By participating in our Zoom meetings, you give us permission to use all audio, video, or content for promotional purposes. And with that, I will turn it over to Adela.
Well, hello everybody. First and foremost, please forgive us for our YouTube streaming. Let us know if you can hear us and our audio is good and all the other good stuff, or even if we're live streaming, let me know. If not, we'll have this uploaded to you guys so you can see it. As always, we are working and asking anyone who is willing to volunteer and help us on the production side, please do so that you can take over and be better for me. But in the meantime, welcome to our second one. As Seth said, first and foremost, I want to thank my team for being here all the time and showing up in the back end and working countless hours to help us bring this together and make sure that we bring you the conversation that is necessary about mental and emotional health, and for supporting me in all the things that I need to get this going to. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And let's get into the conversation of why is community so important. So last month we talked about why volunteering was so important and how you coming and showing up can make a difference and change lives in any human's life in any position, situation. This week, we're going to talk about, again, why community is so important. At Project Human, we believe that truly no human should have to journey alone through life. Since evolving from hunter-gatherers to stable and non-nomadic societies, the ability for humans to establish friendships, form families, whether by blood or by choice, and to build tight-knit communities are what mark us as truly unique species. These abilities have allowed us to survive and thrive. But in the modern era of digital disconnect, social media, instead of social interaction, and even more the remote work that we've set ourselves up through these last couple of years, we're fast losing the people-to-people connection that have gotten us to where we are. And as a collective human race, we can feel ourselves suffering from it. I know for a fact that if I don't have human connections, if I'm not one-on-one with people where I can hug them, where I'm there to touch, smell, taste, feel the being, it is an absolute moment of my soul dying. And so I recognize it, PHInc recognizes it, and we are here to make sure that we emphasize why community is so important. Because it gives us more than just one person. It gives us one or more someones to lean on when things are hard, to talk to show up to, when silence just isn't enough, and to connect to over shared joys, shared triumphs, and resilience, as that's what human connection and community mean. It gives us the ability to create memories and to say to a human being, hey, I got you when you can't, to create that space for someone when you don't get to do that. There's a couple of pillars to our community that we have. And as a community, there's about 4 or 5 things that we want to share with you about that. So I'm going to start with number 1 over here that we have, and then I'm going to hand it off to Miss Alicia to 2, and then we'll kind of back and forth on it and share our inputs of that. because we believe in these important pillars of that. So community is a human need, what it means to survive and thrive. And one of the things that we're talking about this is that we're leading up to our United for Wellness event and building a united community for wellness. What does that mean? What does that look like? And how do we do that as a whole and as a community, as well as how do we contribute as an individual? So in a community, number one, the need to survive and thrive. In a world fractured and by disconnection, feeling of isolation are at a all-time high. Pressure to be perfect, seemingly to live perfect lives, photoshopped and Snapchat filtered or Instagram filtered, are beyond belief, and it's something that we can't even recognize within ourselves when we do it. And more humans are experiencing the external pressure to appear to have everything together. I know for a fact that's in with me, and just over these last couple of days, having my humans around here to help me, my team to come over, literally in my image, I think that I present and the pressure of having everything perfect, and things are falling apart around me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry, you guys. And again, that idea of they're not here to love you because you're perfect. They're not here to be here for you because you're perfect. They're here because you're human. And that part of the perspective and change, even for me, is hard to see because I've been molded and shaped by society to be perceived as perfect, always on top of my game. So having humans be around us when we're not here to do that and are not the ability to do that, remind us that that's okay. That's what community is. That's why it's so important. And I think we believe that healing starts when one human chooses to show up for another. That's been the whole story for us. That's been the whole story for me. I remember in 2017 when I didn't have anybody show up for me, when I called, when I begged, when I cried on the floor for hours, no one came to my rescue. And so the ability for us to be there at the capacity that we are just to show up, we have that capacity. We just choose not to because it's too much and it feels too much and it's too hard, and it's understandable. But when you show up for others, you end up showing up for yourself, and you end up creating a community not only for others, but for yourself as well. And with that in Project Human, your time and your presence become a part of someone else's hope and journey when you become part of a family, and that's dedicated to self-expression, that's dedicated to safety, to healing, to growth, and to inspiration. So one of the things that we want to encourage you to recognize that you as a human being need a community to survive and to thrive. Miss Alicia, I'll have you take it out for the second one.
Yeah, so that's definitely the best segue into come and join our community. So become part of a community. One of the things that we love about community is that it allows you to achieve something bigger than any one person really could. And so as we would love for you to join us because PHInc is more than just a nonprofit organization. We are trying to redefine how we see mental health, trauma, and resilience. So our primary goal is to bridge the gap between mental and emotional health. And we want to create a supportive community where every voice is heard and valued. So become part of our community, whether as a volunteer, contributing maker, or an artist. One of the things that we love about our community is really the creation that people make through partnerships, through being part of the community, just through um, combined resources, making sure that people are part of just that one creative outlet. And so our goal is to really be a collective community heartbeat, working to shift culture, dismantle stigma, and raise the next generation of mental and emotional health advocates.
And with that said, because community building means that you have value and you have expertise in some shape or form, that leads us into the next pillar, that your lived experience is powerful and you do have something to offer. You may not feel like you have value or something to offer to the community because no one around you has told you that or said anything. However, because you exist and because you breathe, that is literally value and offer and worth of your existence. How you do that in your skill or in your talent or in your words and contribution, that's up to you, and that's the decisions. But when you have it, when your life is here, just here, you have the expertise and the experience. And I wanted to state that very much that way because part of this conversation we want you to have is to understand that Your breath and your existence is truly the most valuable thing that you can offer right now, that you can offer to anybody, because with that growth, with that breath, you get to grow and you get to be valued. So whether you walk through trauma, grief, healing, or growth, your story does matter. And what's more important is that it could make all the difference to someone else's life. When you share your story, when you come and when you share with us, even through our events or our organizations, and particularly when you're talking to someone that's right next to you, you can create that one-on-one community for someone to be seen, to be heard, to be felt, to be understood, and to feel like they're worthwhile and worth the effort and the time that you have provided them. So PHInc, we invite all humans to our community, all humans, not because they're perfect, not because they have a certain skill or talent, or because they have a certain position in any shape or form, but because they are human. And because we believe that our lived experiences together in this world can be a light for someone else, and that your journey of healing together with our own can bring us a whole lot more joy and share understanding a whole lot along the way. So being able to understand yourself, know your story, share it, share your value, you truly do save someone else's life because of your breath and because of your existence. Miss Alicia?
Yeah, we one of the biggest things that we want to talk about with community is the fact that we are trying to unite each other in this like wellness space. We want to be a connection in the world of isolation. We really are trying to have our own little cure for the loneliness epidemic, and whether that loneliness might be on your side or on the other end of the table. You don't know if you're coming here to heal yourself or to heal somebody else. Your smile alone might just be the healing spark that might be something that somebody needed that day, but you might be the person that needs that smile as well. And whether you're on either side of that, we want you. We want you in our community because everybody makes a bigger community. So one of the greatest parts of being in the community is that chance for the authentic connection. And that's what we love about being here in PHInc, is that we really are truly here for each other to try and spark each other's joy, spark each other's creation. Through our different events, community circles, and advocacy programs, you'll find your place and you'll help find other places, other people be seen and stand beside each other's. And we want to be here to restore our collective humanity.
I love that. And just so you guys know, part of, again, volunteering, building a community, building connections, being there isn't to give to someone else just to give to someone else. One of the things we really preach here and we value at PHInc is we ask you, what do you want to get out of it? What do you want to gain out of it? What part of yourself are you working on so that you can gain something? Use us, because that's what we're here for. We're here to help you bridge that gap, help you understand, help you navigate. And in turn, you help us create this mission, and you help us navigate, and you help us create these programs and events that are better tailored to the individual, to the community, to the human, and to what is needed in that type of conversation. And so many conversations are needed to be had, and the way that they are and the way the change can be brought is through you. And that leads us into our last segment of creating change. And part of creating change is that you yourself, again, your existence alone creates this change. You are 1 in a billion, 1 in a gazillion chances of living here. Who would have thought? So the idea that you don't have impact, that you don't have value, that you don't have the ability to create a change in your life or someone else's life is, to me personally, preposterous. But that's the word that I just learned how to use properly, so I'm going to be using it. Preposterous, because you're so worth it. So every campaign that we have, and we have quite a few one this weekend, we are launching our United for Wellness campaign and our virtual kickoff that will host our Define the Narrative documentary. We'll also host our merch launch for Certified Nuisance, as well as our Runway to Resilience fashion fundraiser event in September, and our quarterly mental health day. So many things. All of these events, for them to happen, for them to come to the community and for you to be involved, require one thing: a human. Not only just one thing, but the main thing, the resource that we're all seem to, again, exclude from this is the human resource. So we're asking you to be a part of that. We're asking you to show up. Because of you, we have been able to come to here. Project Human is 100% grassroots. It is artist and human built. We are not bought for, paid for, by anything but our own voices. Because of you, we have the ability to create these monumental steps, open these conversations and create safe spaces where humans can come forward and say, here's where I'm at, here's how I'm functioning, can you help me, can I help you? And we do, because we're human. So becoming part of our events, and when you come to when you come and become part of uniting yourself for wellness, not only again do you unite your whole being of your mind, body, soul, and existence, but then you come in and you invite the conversation in the community where you present that to someone else and you make someone else feel whole and connected to that. So you are actively co-creating the legacy of more compassionate and inclusive world just by being existing, but also by becoming our volunteer, by becoming part of our events and part of just our journey. Even if you're just advocating and sharing your story, your voice, you're already a PHInc member. So please remember that your voice matters, you're important, and the only way we end the world of isolation is by stepping up and showing up for ourselves and for the community with our voices and with the strength that we have. So on our next segment, we'd like to leave it in this week with our testimonial from Jen Lathan. She's also one of our supporters in the back end in our operations end, and she actually helped us. We got to give her a huge round of applause of putting all of this event for you together more cohesively, because Adela can do great things, but you guys know where Adela is, over 8,000 places. And Miss Jen comes in and she's my boss, y'all. She is my super boss. So Jen, take it away.
Well, thank you so much for having me as a guest speaker. The topic of community is very important to me because I think I started remote working back in 2010. So I was OG remote working, and it started this sense for me of being isolated and disconnected and not belonging. And it changed my identity, my values shifted. And through the journey since 2010 until now, I've been able to reshape and better understand who I am and what's important to me by revisiting what I want in a community. There are many different types of communities that I've been associated with. I define community as a group of people who share similar values, or maybe they share a passion for the same kinds of things. What's important to them, they have in common. And they can be widespread communities or very niche communities. Some of the communities that I've been a part of in my life have been a faith community related to religious pursuits and studies, work communities, very much ingrained in the consulting work that I've done in the past, and the identities and beliefs and ways of thinking that came with that. The Spanish-speaking community, because of my bilingual background, the desire to connect with peoples from different Spanish cultures, and finding friendships and families within those groups. The Zumba community has been a huge part of my life, by the passion of dance and freedom and silliness and the love of great music. It has created for me not only a pursuit of fitness, but a pursuit of joy. 90% of the people in my Zumba community are female, which has allowed me to nurture female to female relationships and a great support network both in and outside of the dance class. I do spend a lot of time devoted to fitness. My gym class friends make up a large portion of my friends group because I spend so much time with them regularly. We come to lean on each other, to motivate each other. That community is about what are our goals and how can we help each other feel encouraged to get to those goals? How can we challenge one another as well as celebrate one another and meet each other where we are? Absolutely no one in any of these communities that I've mentioned so far is a perfect person. We understand that each of us is human, that each of us has flaws, and yet we've been able to create these connections, these communities. Another huge part of my life is the music family, our reggae community on the East Coast of Florida. Being a member of live concert music community has forged a group of 20 or so tight-knit friends that see each other frequently during the year. And the one thing that we all definitely have in common is the music, but other than that, we lead incredibly different lives. But the ability to connect to one another on just one shared value has been transformational in creating that sense of belonging. And I will say, above all things, that the PHInc community, Project Human community, that I've been welcomed into within the last year has been one of nurturing, one of recognition of the human trials, the journey that we all are making, and emphasizing to me that in no way should we be going through the journey alone. So to feel not only welcomed, understood, to be encouraged to reach out when I need help, to be encouraged to be who I am and bring what I bring, and be grateful for me and everything that I can bring to this community, as much and as often as I'm willing to come to it. And it's been a very warm sense of being. And I really do hope that folks listening to this broadcast that are interested in joining a community, a movement of people who want to change stigma around mental and emotional health pursuits and the desire to be and do for one another on our journeys wherever we are in those pathways, is something that I get the joy of being a part of. So that's what I would like to say about community.
I love it. Thank you so much. I want to ask you a question that popped up real quick, and then I want to ask Yolanda to pop in and share her, because we have some more extra time, and share her experience with community and just what it means too as well. And then Seth, you made a comment in the for the community too. I want to add that in there right now too. That in the end, community isn't just a place where we inhibit; it's a force we embody. It's the space between us, made sacred by intention and presence. If half the people in the world each took care of just one person truly, attentively, that would be enough to attend the whole world, wouldn't it? Not through grand systems or perfect plans, but through simple human scale acts of care. So as we return to our individual paths, let's remember that world doesn't get better all at once. It gets better all in proximity, one presence, one gesture, one person at a time. And I love what you said there, because that's literally what we talk about when we talk about our 40 inches, when we talk about zeroing in on ourselves, when we talk about being in that. How do we bridge that and create that community between the people next to us, right? It's so great that we have the ability in social media resources to reach a network, which, first of all, let me add to this, thank you for everybody who's reached out to us, and for all of our subscribers on our YouTube page, for all of our streamers, for the amount of views that we've gotten over this last month just on the conversation we have. It's mind-blowing to me, so thank you so much. But that's the point, is that those numbers can inflate our own egos, our own heads, because we see that big number and we think, oh my God, these big numbers make me feel important, that we forget that the person next to us, the community right next to us, is what holds us, what builds us, what structures us, right? But the question that I had for you, Jen, and for all of you guys, if you want to put your input into that, part of what creating a community to me means that you have to have a responsibility and a willingness to show up, right? So what would be is that one of the requirements, if you will, of creating a community? What do you think a requirement of creating that community is? Is it the will, like on your own self, not on what the community could do, but for your own self? Like, what is your requirement of the input on that? Is it, showing up? Is it just calling? What is the requirement of that? What is the responsibility of our own selves? Jen, I'll hand it off to you, and then we'll go to Yolanda, and then the rest, if you guys want to put in.
I would say absolutely showing up. I'll take Zumba, fitness classes, music family. If you're not in the class, you're not in proximity to someone. They may notice your absence, but they can't share the experience with you. Each gym class, each Zumba class, each concert is a different experience. And there are shared joys and shared moments, shared triumphs, shared failures. And they require not only a presence, but an openness to notice and connect with the people around you that are in this shared community, to greet one another, to exchange pleasantries, and also ask deep questions, to notice when each other are missing, and to, outside of those communities, to invest a small portion of your time at first to try to create stronger branch networks with these folks in the communities, maybe getting onto a text message basis with a couple new friends, or starting a group chat with a couple new friends, and starting to learn backstories and really understanding who are the humans in the community, for who's showing up, so that you can create those human to human connections.
Love it. Yolanda, your thoughts?
So my requirement's a little different. Um, I really like what Seth said about if half the people in the world each took care of one person truly and attentively. And in my requirement, that has to be me. I have to be attentive and truly take care of myself and move. Moving, it to me is the first most important requirement. I might not feel like I need to do anything. I might not feel like I can talk to people, like I can whatever, but do something. Get up, brush your teeth, get out of bed, get dressed. It gets easier. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it gets easier. Movement is a requirement for me, period. Like that has just become part of who I am now. I had a day today. I had a day. And my requirement was, so what? Move, move. And not because it's like that's the easiest thing to do. Just moving, just starting isn't always easy when you're in like that mindset. But I've learned over time, because Adela can attest, I'm a very stubborn person. But I have learned over time that my emotions will cement me in place. And uh, if I want to be productive in my own life, in my own 40 inches, starting with my home care community, with my children, with my spouse, things like that, I can't just stop. I can't. And, a lot of people talk about faking it till you make it. It's not even about that. It's just about doing what you can and being okay with that, realizing that you are a human being and you are growing every day, just like a plant, you have to grow roots. And once those roots grow, your branches can grow stronger. You can hold more fruits and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing in your life until you're really doing that. So now I'm at the point where I can have more than that 40 inches. I can add another 40 into my community, maybe into a club. Or like Jen said, into something with like working out, with more people, even in the PHInc community, um, friendships, my children's friends, things that I didn't, 5 years ago could do. And so I think movement, no matter what that is just choose to move. Don't just choose to sit. Don't just choose to be stagnant in it. Like if you ever seen stagnant water, it gets slimy, it gets gross, stuff grows and festers in it. But water movement, even if it's the smallest trickle, will keep it clean. Same thing for our hearts and our minds. We just got to keep moving. And with this community, it's so great because, like Jen said, people they'll check on you, like she in her Zumba and stuff like that, which is the greatest part of having like a fitness community because they do. They keep their people accountable. But in PHInc, it's kind of the same way. If you don't check in a certain amount of time, someone's calling to check on you because it's like you've been showing up. The one thing that I've always been able to do is at least show up. Today, it was like I didn't have to show up. I've had a really rough day. It's been bad. But guess what? I'm going to show up. You want to know why? Because people show up for me. So I'm going to move. I'm going to show up no matter what. Because guess what? I can always take a nap. I can always play a game. I can always just take a bath or go outside and, I can do that anytime I want. But right now, I need to show up because I said I would. And so I guess accountability would be my next requirement. Movement, accountability. And after that, honestly, things just get real easy.
It's
So,
cool what you said. I want to say about Yolanda. One of the great things about PHInc that I know that we've initiated and we've tried to teach, and I know we've done it because Yolanda's proof of it, and so is in other people that we've done it with, is that if you say, "Hey, I need to be accountable on the smallest level. I need you to check in with me and keep me accountable to brush my teeth this week so that I can move forward with something." when we talk about the level of community here at Project Human specifically, that's the level of where we're talking about. We're talking about, okay, you need me to call you at 9 a.m. And we did that for over 2 years at 9 a.m. every day for 30 minutes at 9 a.m. just so that she could learn to move this way, or she needed this, or she needed that, or I needed something at times too, because there are days that I didn't want to move. And because I said I would show up for her, that made me show up for myself. And part of that is showing up for other people isn't like, say, I want to make sure that I get this right, because you saying yes to other people to show up for them is you also saying yes to you. You have to know your capacity. You have to know your limits. You have to know your boundaries. You have to know all these things about you before you say yes to showing up to somebody else. We say that at PHInc all the time. What is your capacity before you can show up to this? Because the capacity we're asking you to show up might be higher than you have the ability to do so. That's okay. Then don't show up for us that way. Show up for yourself first. Learn what capacity you have. Use this with that resource so that you can build your own tanks. You can see where you're empty, fuel them up, and then, or some of us didn't even know we had tanks. So that's what the community is here to build with that. So we build you up as the individual so that you understand the importance of saying no to the world, but saying yes to yourself. When you say yes to someone saying, hey, Adela, I'm going to show up for this meeting because I'm going to be a testimony and I got you. You're saying yes, hey, I said my voice is important enough, my words are important enough for someone else to hear me, and I'm worth these 5 minutes to be listened to, even if no one else thinks that. But I am, because I have the opportunity to show up for that. Because you do that, you have no idea. That's the greatest part of this world and the technology and this social media connection we have. You have no idea how small, tiny voice of yours has the ability to change a whole life of someone else, or a whole community, or a whole perspective, just because you showed up to say your piece. And that's what we do here in the community with PHInc. We really just I want to emphasize that, because at the end of the day, when you come volunteer, when you come be a part of that, it isn't just about showing up for events and being part of our fashion shows, being part of our great things like the documentary and the front of the camera, the behind of the camera, the pretty stuff. Like, that's all fun for us. The hard part is that 9 a.m. phone call when you don't feel like showing up for someone and they say, hey, I need you to be there for me and I need to talk this through, and you don't even know what you're doing, but you said you would be there to listen. The hard part is when the 911 comes through and you're like, hey, I got to pick this up and I got to walk out of something because a human needs to listen to me right now, or I need to listen to them. The hard part is showing up for that other being when you don't have the capacity or you don't have the energy, which is why we always tell you we want you to have that for you first. So how do we build you up to that so that you can be part of that community in there? Alicia, what do you think is a requirement of showing up and creating that community too? Accountability we have, responsibility we have showing up into that proximity of seeing yourself, and it all goes back to the being willing, right? So what do you think?
I think authenticity, so like being actually like present. I can't really talk because I'm sitting here petting my cat and he's distracting me. So that's the reason why I keep kind of like chuckling, because he keeps putting his little paw up. But I am like, even though he's making me like be like present in the moment. But I think, showing up and actually like being your true self and being like at like there, and not thinking about your grocery list, or what your other honeydews or whatever. I think like actually like, because if you're not showing up as yourself, then you can't really expect everyone else to give that back to you. I think, and also I don't think you'll fully get from a community what you really need if you're not being your true self either.
Mhm.
That's a great point, authenticity. And part of finding your authenticity is seeing your value and seeing going like, what is it that I want? What do I care about? What are my boundaries? What do I like and what do I not like? And then when someone says something, being honest. Like when somebody asks me about, hey, Adela, do you want to go do this? And my first expression is no. It's not because I'm trying to be, no, but I'm being authentic. I don't like it. It's not my favorite. And it just is. And I'm not afraid anymore to just be no or to yes. Like, I'm not afraid. And my facial expressions and how blunt I come off, or these moments that as someone will here tell you, a hard ass, authoritarian, all these words that might come across because my face and my happen to be that, just because that's who my personality is. But I'm the most unserious, serious person ever. But it like, how do you authentically show up for people when they need you to be there that way? When you're, even again, for me, when I'm all over the place, how do you show up and be that? You have to love human beings. You genuinely have to love human beings, and you have to not care about what their identity is, what their politics is, what their place and where they think they are, or where you think they should be. Like, you genuinely have to see this human as a human who is here, blood and flesh in front of you, a presence, and look at them for what they need. And again, even yesterday we had an emergency. If some things happen with Project Human, we have a lot of that where human needs, and you have to be able to get past the way I'm going to say it. Listen, I don't like sweatiness. I don't like icky bodily fluids. I don't. I'm not very much. However, when a human is in need, I will hug them to the T, and I will make sure that I'm as dirty as they are, because they just need a hug. Literally, it's that simple. And I'll walk in and be afterwards, because I don't like that. But it won't be about what I like at that moment. It won't be about how I feel in that moment. It will be about, whoa, this being just requires my presence, not my judgment, not my shame, not my guilt, not my ideas of what a human should be, just the fact that I recognize them in the space and time and place that they are. And that goes so far, especially when we talk about mental health and we're talking about humans. And again, we've said in the beginning, we're not medical professionals in any way and form, but what I'm about to say next is that when a human is in a psychosis state, when a human is a place where they can't function, they can't understand, when their 40 inches is a community that they cannot depend on, right? When that becomes that the world is something that they can't depend on, part of what we want with Project Human is to be that bridge for those humans that can come in and calm and be able to create a plan as well of action that keeps everyone safe, because safety is the number one importance and priority. Saving a life is our end goal with every conversation we have. How do we save a life? How do we save your life? How do we save a life, period? And so at the end of the day, these conversations that we're having, building these communities and these spaces and creating these spaces are what's going to bridge that gap between our law enforcement, our medical and healthcare systems, our policies, and our politicians, whatever that they're doing up there, and then our own selves, because we don't have the understanding, or we have the fear that because we don't have PhDs and masters, or because we haven't gone to a class, or because we haven't been certified in something, you decide that your voice, your lived experience is a certification enough to be able to stand on what's happening and how to speak on it. We may not have the words. That's why we come in to do that. So part of that is knowing yourself, being responsible, being accountable, willing to show up and authentically speak for what you believe in, stand for. And again, we don't encourage vulgar, speech or violence or outrageous push on any of that. Like, we do not encourage that, but we encourage you to stand on your truth of who you are and express it that way. So how do you create that community? How do you bridge that? How do you become that? By, like everybody said, showing up and volunteering and being in that space to give your time, even when you might not want to, and then going, what do I want to gain out of this? And being honest about that. Like, that's one part about Project Human and about myself that we really preach, is that we want you to be honest completely. We are selfish creatures. So be honest about what you want. Do you want to get better in this life? Do you want more structure and security? Do you want more money and fame? What do you want? Okay, if those are the things you want, we'll find a place for you. You'll find a place for yourself, and we don't fit. That's cool. But be honest about what you want, because when you're honest about what you want, you have the capacity to then decide what community you want to be in, how you're going to approach it, and then build that for yourself and build the life and the relationships you want. But you can't do that until you're honest completely about what you want. And again, it could be as simple as, I don't like this kind of food, I don't like this kind of music, and I don't like this kind of smell. Like, it's that simple, and I'm not going to be in that space. literally going back to elementary level of what do you like, what do you not like, and working your steps and your way up. Seth, I wanted to give you an opportunity. Did you want to say anything? Seth, our moderator, has been great, but he's been on. I just wanted to give him that opportunity since, everybody else. Okay, great. I wanted to give everybody else just one more opportunity. Hey, listen, we've talked this out. We know it. Like we all know everybody's there. Everybody gets an opportunity, whether they want it or not. Everybody gets one. So I wanted to see if we have any more comments we're going to add in here. Jennifer.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing.
Please.
So just like on the whole topic of authenticity, I want everyone to feel like that they can come no matter what they like. If you don't know what you want to volunteer, if you don't know what you want, we can help you figure it out. If you say, I only want to help clean paintbrushes, guess what? We've got paintbrushes for you to clean. If you don't know how to sew, guess what? Adela will give you like
A quick tutorial
expert
will teach you, I promise.
explanations. If you have an idea that you want to make into an awesome, an awesome dress for our Project Runway, if you just have like an idea for something, we can help you make it into something creative. I think that that's one of the exciting things is we like to help artists grow and help find the artist within everybody. So that's just my little
I love that little plug. And let me tell you something. We believe that every human being is the artist
Yes.
within, because you are the creator
Yes.
of your own life and story. And so you may not think you can paint. You may not think you can do this. You may not think we promise you, you may not think you can create. But because you're a human being, you have all the power of creation. And just because you wash dishes a certain way doesn't mean that's not art. Just because you like your vacuum lines does not mean that's not art, okay? I have my vacuum lines and I like them in A's, and that is artistic. When you see them done a certain way, it is art, okay? I'm just saying, every one of us has that ability to have in us. It's a matter of what you decide is worth your effort, worth your time, worth putting in and creating. And if that's, again, your home, your work, your relationships, or just in general, your existence in life, no matter how that is and no matter how it looks to day, okay, cool. Just know you're in charge of it. Just know that your capacity is above what you think it is, and your ability is above what you feel it is, because there's a difference in how you move when you think you don't have the capacity and then your feeling becomes so draining that you don't have the ability to do something. So you are more than the capacity you think, and you are more than the ability you feel. So just know that, and that's like my own other thing on that. And so the last thing I want to touch base on with you guys, we have a couple of things coming up this weekend and in August and in September. So this weekend, 12 to 3, we will be live streaming our United for Wellness event, where we will be launching our conversation about what it means to be part of Project Human Family, emphasizing the community involvement and volunteering part of us, connection, and then our long-awaited teaser trailer for the Define the Narrative documentary, which I'm so excited about. And y'all, this thing is just like a whole heart-pounding little thing that Adela's here going, I'm so proud of it, and it's me. And I can't believe I'm saying it. I can't believe I'm saying it because you wouldn't hear me say it. So we would love to share that with you. It will be on our YouTube page, on our YouTube channel. So go subscribe, go like. We'll also be launching the Runway to Resilience Fashion Fundraiser. Tickets will be going on sale that day, and you'll be able to purchase a ticket, get in on our flight experience, and be first class, maybe. I don't know where you want to be. We'll see. But we'd love to have your support. If you're an artist, a fashion designer, photographer, musician, producer, or director in any shape or form, this is one of your open invitations. Come on, be a part of it, because September 27th, we are launching a big fashion fundraiser for ourselves, and we want to do something epic and creative, and we'll share more details in the coming weeks with you on that. But it is an open invitation for you to join us, and on Saturday you'll have the ability to apply and share your information and credentials and your work with us, so that we can get you on board and get you working with Project Human and all the other good stuff we have. And last but not least, we will also be releasing our merch right here. I've got a few things. Certified Nuisance And again, part of our certified nuisance, what it means is that you are certified in this life, you are certified in this existence, in your reality, to be able to have a say, have a stance, and advocate for yourself. Whether or not you are right or wrong about the realities of some things, that's a different story, because those are the things we have to learn. But you are certified in being able to advocate for yourself, speak for yourself, stand up for yourself, and definitely don't let anybody gaslight you, especially the medical system, into some BS, because you know yourself. So that's part of what we have with the certified nuisance, is for us to let you know that we have your back when you're standing up and when you're needing to talk about yourself and where you need to be. Again, we're not condoning belligerence, violence, or any kind of bad negative language, because that's not what we're here for. I'm saying that out loud. But we're here to support your voice, to support your life, to support your worth and existence in this fight in this world where everybody believes you're not worth it because you're a human being and because you feel. Okay, so let's be there for you. So that's why we're asking you to become a nuisance with us. Again, a certified good one, a nuisance with us, so that we can make to change an effort in this life and in this system. And we'll be doing some live shopping, so definitely check us out. I can't wait. It'll be our first little thing. So exciting. All right. Anybody else want to pop in and say last few words for us before Seth takes us away?
I'll just tag on to the things that you mentioned. All of the upcoming events. United for Wellness is virtual, but we have these monthly community conversations. Our next one will be in August 28th. We have our quarterly mental health days, which are live events. And then, of course, the Runway to Resilience Fashion fundraiser event. Encouraging anybody who was motivated by the conversation today and may want to get involved somewhere in volunteering. We have operations support placements, event support, and behind the scenes opportunities where you could be planning, you could be organizing, you could be doing social media plugs, you could be doing donor outreach, you could be do setup, breakdown, production crew, you could be a co-promoter. You could be using your maker skills, your designer skills, your art skills, your music skills to contribute to making an event that much more awesome. If you or someone you know would like to be a vendor or a donor or a sponsor to help make an upcoming event even more epic, we would love to connect with you. Please just reach out. Seth will share our contact information in just a second, but above all, we want you on our community. We want you to be a Project Human advocate for your local area, for your 40 inches of influence, and to help enrich our own community.
See, this is why I love her. She's the boss. For all the things I go fluff, she goes boom, boom, boom. This is why you need a team. This is why you need a team. Anyway, I think that's my last little team pump. Anywho, Seth, take it away. Thank you all for joining us, and we appreciate you, and we love you. So, Seth, give us off our sign-off.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you were inspired by the conversation. I hope that we hear from you. The website to go to see what's going on is www.PHInc.org. That's www.PHInc-ing.org. And the email address, I believe, is info@PHInc-ing.org. Is that right, Adela?
Yes, thinking that I made it complicated for a reason. Listen, I didn't make it complicated for a reason. I made it complicated when I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so here we go. We all will have to live with some of the decisions until we can afford to change them. Until then, yes, it is info@PHInc-ing.org. Thinking.org with the dash. Okay, like thinking. We want you to think.
Oh yeah, thinking is I think that's a verb that we can coin. Absolutely, that's what we're doing right here.
See, I knew there was a reason. Why I make things complicated. I'm a complicated creature. We all are.
Anyway, I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope everybody else did, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Okay, awesome. And our next one is going to be on the importance of connection. So just remember that, you guys, and I appreciate you all. Thank you all for supporting. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. And we want to encourage you to share this conversation or share any of our other conversations or any of our podcast, the Artists Within podcast episodes, because they do have great information and value, and you never know whose life you could save by one conversation. And our whole mission is to bridge the gap between mental and emotional health through one conversation at a time. And we're all tired, so bear with us. We love you all very much, but we showed up, And until next time, see you in a while, my